George Wells, the 21st of September 1866 to the 13th of August 1946, was an English writer. He was prolific in many genres, writing dozens of novels, short stories, and works of social commentary, satire, biography, and autobiography, and even 2 books on recreational war games. He is now best remembered for his science fiction novels and is often called the father of science fiction, along with Jules Verne and Hugo Gernsback. Introduction to the lesson: Can a man become invisible? This is a story of a scientist who discovers how to make himself invisible. Does he use or misuse his discovery? The story is about a scientist named Griffin. He discovers the rare chemicals which can make a man invisible, but at the same time, the man can be touched and felt physically. Let's read and find out how he uses or misuses his powers for his own. About a scientist named Griffin. He had been discovering ways which could make a man invisible and finally swallowed certain rare drugs that made him invisible. He was first noticed by 2 boys in staircase of a house where they could just see his footsteps and started following it. They follow it until the footsteps are faint and cannot be seen. First, as he is feeling cold, he enters a mall for some warmth. After the stores shut down, he decides to wear some warm clothes and eat something. He first unboxes a few clothes and wears them. Then from the kitchen of a restaurant, he eats cold meat and some coffee. Later he goes to a grocery store and eats sweets and drinks wine. He then falls asleep on a pile of quilts. He then wakes up in the morning when some of the store assistants had seen him and started chasing him. He quickly threw away all the clothes he was wearing and became invisible again. Then he started roaming around again without any clothes in the cold winters of London. He then decides to steal clothes from a theatre company as he knew he would get something there to cover his face as well. He then steals bandages for his face, dark glasses, false nose and a hat for covering himself. Then hits the shopkeeper and steals all his money. Soon he realizes that London is too crowded to live like this and decides that he would go to a remote village. He books 2 rooms at an inn at the Iping village. He reaches there and it is strange for the people of Iping that a stranger with such a weird appearance has come to stay at an inn during the winter season. Once his money is over, he steals from people and also hits the landlord and his wife when they try to check his room in his absence. Then the village constable is asked for help, but before that Mrs. Hall, the wife of the landlord, asks him questions regarding who he is and what he did to her furniture. This makes him really furious and he decides to show her who he really is. The people then see a headless man and Mr. Jaffers, the constable, also finds out that he would have to arrest a man who does not have a head. They are unable to catch Griffin as he removes all his clothes and becomes invisible. He even knocks out Jaffers as he tries to catch him. Lesson and explanation, with word meanings: muddy, covered in or full of mud. Imprints, impress or stamp a mark, outline on a surface. Bare, not clothed, covered. Gazed, looked at steadily and intently, especially in admiration, surprise or thought. Remarkable, worthy of attention, striking. Sight, the faculty or power of seeing, progressing, move forward, onward in space or time. Fascinated, strongly attracted and interested. Faint, barely perceptible. Bewildered, perplexed and confused, very puzzled. Eject, compel someone to leave a place.